guys, so I am making a homemade hummus today. So all you need are these organic garbanzo beans, and all I'm gonna do is drain out some of that liquid. And I like to put it in a food processor or a blender and just do a little bit at a time to kind of blend it up, and then you can add more of the beans in and then blend it up again. I am using some water from my zero water filter. So I just put in about a cup. You're gonna notice if you start to blend up the beans, if it's getting too thick and it's not blending up well, to add in some more water. The best way to do it is if you were to heat a little bit of the water up almost to a boiling temperature, and then so it's like warm water, kind of lukewarm water, or maybe a little bit warmer, and then pour it into the mix. That really helps the beans to absorb that water and then to make it really creamy. So if it's too thick, add a little more water, and if it's way too thin, then you probably use too much water. So always start out just a little bit small and then add your beans to help thicken it up. You can also add in a little bit of like organic almond milk or coconut milk just to give it more of a creamy texture. And then I always like to add in a bit of tahini sauce or spread. It's like a sesame paste almost. It's called tahini. I think it's spread. You can find that at any store, and you can add that in, which gives it a really good nutty flavor, and then it helps make it creamy as well. So I'm just gonna blend this up, and then I'm gonna show you the rest. I'm gonna be adding in some garlic. So I'm just gonna chop this up into little pieces here, and then I'm gonna add that into our hummus. I normally would add in either some onion or some red bell pepper just to give it some more flavor. You can add the red bell pepper by putting it on the burner to make it kind of roasted, and then chopping it up into slices and adding it into the mixture. I've also added beets in before, like red beets. If you put that into the mixture and make a beet and chickpea hummus. Or I've also done avocado, so you can really get creative with this recipe. I always make it from scratch because you can end up with a lot more hummus and you know exactly what's going in it. I also add a little bit of olive oil on the top, and then I'm gonna add in some seasoning. So you can season it however you would like. I'm gonna do a little bit of this. It's a Moroccan seasoning, so it's got cumin, coriander, ginger, cardamom, black pepper, white pepper, paprika, and turmeric. So I'm just going to add a couple dashes of that in to give it a little bit of flavor. And then this is my new favorite seasoning that I found. It's an organic salt and spices vegetable seasoning. And what's in here is dry basil, dry tomato, oregano, bay leaf, and a little bit of virgin sea salt. So a little bit of this goes a long way, so I'm gonna wait and add this towards the end. And I also have some of my bone broth that I've been cooking in my crock pot here, a chicken bone broth. So my hummus is a little bit thick, so I'm just gonna add in a little bit of this warm chicken broth. It's really gonna flavor up that hummus as well. So let's go ahead and mix that up. My hummus is done. So all I'm gonna do is scoop it out into my little container. I'm working on getting some glass jars because it's much better to store your stuff in glass jars, and it's also gonna be what I'm using to start selling my mixes. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of this probiotics Kraut. And it's fermented vegetables, and I'm gonna add a little bit on top. And fermented vegetables are really just good for your gut and healing your gut and really kind of resetting your body. So this is red cabbage, red beets, carrots, and just a little bit of sea salt. It's just a fermented food, and just a little bit will go a very long way. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a forkful. Some of my organic vegetable seasoning, and then this is just the finished product of what it looks like.